The 5 Amazing Race 23 finale.
Shut up, you. Welcome to the 50th episode of the Only Amazing Race 25 Recap Podcast with the seal of approval, the You Are Team Number podcast. My name is Michael Harmstone, and for our golden anniversary, I'm joined as ever by our Canadian golden boy, Logan Saunders, also known as Blake from Survivor Guatemala.
Damn it, I was going to mention that.
Preempted, bitch.
I want to set up your own joke.
And, of course, our Australian golden shower, Ben Powell.
Oh.
Hello.
No, screen
Oh,
cap
sorry,
of
Ben, I
Tyson.
couldn't resist that one. No, I'm not going to screen cap of Tyson. Although we were talking about Tyson and Rachel on Marriage Boot Camp before you decided to grace us with your presence.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, if you want to get in contact with us during the next hour, you can post comments on this video if you're watching on YouTube. There's a Q&A on the Google Plus page, or you can get your opinions in on the Facebook group, which is linked in the video description down below. Alternatively, tweet us using the hashtag yatncast, which you can see when I or Ben speak. So,
Because once again, Logan can't be bothered.
yeah, Logan can't bother, despite me making him beautiful graphics.
It won't work on my computer for some reason. We've tried before. We'll have to try it at length before we podcast sometime in the future.
Yeah.
We'll have that fixed for the second year.
Yeah.
You know the solution to that? You know the solution to that, Logan? New computer.
Well, are we going to do a Kickstarter for this podcast where people crowdfund for a new computer for me?
Or upgrade from Windows 95.
I'm sure you're gonna. I'm sure
Hey,
you can
come
make
on
more
now.
money.
That's cutting edge in Canada, isn't it?
What's that, sorry?
I said that's cutting edge in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, Windows 95, yeah. We just got past this thing called dial-up. I don't know if you've heard of it.
How?
My uncle still has dial-up, come to think of it, and he's only about 45 minutes away from me.
So yeah, it's official, kids. Canada is backwards. The Americans got it
Oh,
right.
Canada.
What's that about?
Anyway, we had an amazing race episode. We were going to talk about or something.
Well, an amazing race.
Isn't that usually my line?
What's that about? Yeah, probably. Very Canadian. Yeah, an amazing race episode that was sort of a bit meh for the first 50 minutes, and then holy crap, the pit stop made it good.
Are you kidding? I love this episode. Probably one of my favorite. Probably one of my favorite of the season.
Yeah, I really liked it too. They just needed Richard Harden at the basketball court, which we can touch upon later.
I liked it more than I liked last week, but it was made infinitely better by that pit stop twist. And if CBS hadn't sort of publicised the hell out of the pit stop twist, I probably would have been more surprised, because I was fully expecting to keep on racing. I wasn't expecting a non-elimination again, but I was fully expecting to keep on racing.
I don't really follow CBS's publicization, so I didn't know they were going to copy my twist ideas for the end of this episode.
Yeah.
But before the end, I guess we should start off from the beginning, I suppose.
On our 50th podcasting week, you actually managed to pitch an idea to CBS that they liked.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knew they would read my fanfic from when I was in elementary school? Who knew?
Yes, Logan Saunders, Amazing Race correspondent and consultant. So, last week, teams flew to Manila in the Philippines. Misty was overwhelmed. Brooke and Robbie pulled ahead. Jim sucked at the details. Brooke and Robbie got stuck in the mud. Jim and Misty won the foot race, and Brooke and Robbie were saved from elimination in a horrendously predictable situation.
How is that possible?
I know.
That's one way to break the silence.
Just out of interest, how would Bethany doing an impression of Brooke saying "that's not how is that possible" sound?
Okay, I can do one Bethany impression. You're pushing your luck here.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You still owe me Bethany on Laughing Gas. So.
Hey, I'm not impressions. I'm not like that guy from Police Academy. I can't do everything.
Yes, Ben Powell, man of 1,000 voices, all of them Bethany Hamilton.
That is flagrant false advertising.
I'm in quite a bitchy mood today, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Stop it.
It's probably from my inspiration of when I was on the train on Wednesday going, oh my god, I could do a pun on Golden for the intro this week. I'm so proud of myself. So we also had a lovely close-up of Misty's foot because she decided to get a scratch from falling into a ditch.
Ugh.
Yeah, her own fault.
I don't understand how anyone said that was too bad. It looks like a scratch. I mean, I was watching in HD as well. It really didn't look that bad.
We've seen worse.
Yeah, at least we've seen
especially
worse.
last weekend Survivor here.
Ugh. Yeah.
And if you and back in week 3 of this very season.
And Dave.
Oh, well, then yeah. Compare firefighter's foot to her foot. Yeah, they're not really on the same playing field there.
No, they were sort of they were sort of quite desperate, I think.
I mean, at least her ankle's the right color.
Well, yeah.
Imagine if Flo had this injury, she would quit.
And Joe would have to go with her.
If Flo had hay fever, she would quit.
And sadly, I don't have a Flo screen cap to hand. Maybe for next week.
Slack up.
Yeah, sorry. I can't predict every single reference you're going to make.
What kind of host are you?
I know. I'm disappointed in myself. I've let myself down, and you guys as well.
This is the 50th podcast. You blew it.
However, I do of course have our favourite references on hand, such as Bill and Kathy, the Black Family, and from last week, Coach. Because I have.
Okay then.
Just upon your request.
Anyway, when did Jim start at leg? What time?
9:01 a.m. And Amy and Maya were at 9:02. Adam and Bethany at 9:05, and Brooke and Robbie at 9:07.
Wow.
Is that the shortest gap in Amazing Race history?
Yeah.
6 minutes from first to last?
I'm pretty sure that will be the shortest gap ever.
Wow.
It's up there.
I wonder if that was planned at all.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like the pit stop was down a one-track lane.
Which begs the question is how someone got overtaken on that.
Well, yeah. Well, because Brooke wasn't wearing any shoes is the answer.
I ain't got no shoes.
I ain't got no shoes!
And how it wasn't Amy and Maya who got overtaken somehow.
Listen, in week 9, according to us, Amy and Maya beat out everyone else in a foot race.
Oh, the good old times with the hoax.
Yeah.
On Google Plus. Anyways,
Despite Amy
did
and
you hear Misty's pronunciation of Manila? She called it Mulat.
Mulana. She's just been watching Disney films probably at the pit stop.
Or she's got fashion capitals of the world in her mind.
Our first location from Amazing Race 4.
Mulatin. Combination of Manila and Milan.
Exactly. But maybe she opened the clue and thought, fly to the first city visited on Amazing Race 4. And she's like, Manila, Milan.
Yes.
And obviously we should know where that is.
Mulatin.
So teams must travel by jeepney.
Maybe it's a mixed. It is truly mixed. Mixed between Manila and Milan would be Mulatin.
It would. And teams had to travel by jeepney to Raja Suleiman Park to find their next clue, and teams have a whole $1 bill for this leg of the race.
Da-da.
But first time in a while that teams have only been given
Wu-Tang
$1
Clan sponsored that $1 bill.
Yes. Powered by Wu-Tang Clan. The second leg of Amazing Race in the Philippines is brought to you by Wu-Tang Clan. And we also saw Adam and Bethany get the traditional Godfather confessional. That always happens at least once a season. And seems to happen.
We're followers of Jesus Christ.
Thank you, finally.
Jesus ordered them to race through Mulatin Philippines.
Did you watch the Life at Ponderosa from Survivor this week? Just out of interest. I watched it about half an hour ago.
I don't watch the
No, I did
season.
not.
John, spoilers, John got voted out. John basically said that he and Misty were bonded purely because of their mutual love of God, and Misty claimed that God had already decided who the winner of the season was.
You mean
John and
Missy?
Misty?
Yeah, well, Misty,
Missy?
Missy even. I'm getting so confused with people with something.
The Missy has
Yeah, having said that, Misty on Survivor would be quite
a
funny.
foot injury. Misty has a foot injury. Confusion there. They both have foot injuries this in the same week of reality television. It's easy to mix the two up, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both blonde.
As you do.
Both torture people for a living, because Misty's a dentist and Missy's a cheerleading mom. See?
She's also a dentist. You see what she did to Baylor's tooth earlier in the season?
Well, yeah.
Anyway, Amazing Race.
Yeah, bringing it back to Amazing Race.
Right.
Hammerotz gets the creepiest task of the week for their dentistry task.
Wrong Amazing Race, Michael.
Yeah, with the trying to convince people that they're going to get teeth pulled out. Only German television could do that.
Okay.
So we also discovered that it matters which direction you get the jeepney in, because Amy and Maya and Jim and Misty both decide to get a jeepney going, we're so great, and they go 20 minutes out of the way.
Weren't they like trying to go to like the station and then catch another jeepney and then catch another jeepney?
Yeah, and then they realised their mistake. After about 20 minutes, though, usually teams realise their mistake after about 5 at most. But they really, really didn't.
I bet they've got the combined total brain power more than everyone else here.
I bet the confusion came up when, hey, wait a minute, they don't make us travel more than 10 minutes to a place usually, and we're only going half an hour.
Yeah.
This is too elaborate for the Amazing Race.
I mean, they can't send us more than 10 minutes out of our way. Yeah, compare the 2 Philippines visits. In Amazing Race 5, they sent them to Manila and then to El Nido. In Amazing Race 25, they send them to Manila and then Manila. It's so intensely difficult for them to get there. So Adam and Bethany were the first ones to the clue box, and we had another blind detour. Yay! Were you happy to see the blind detour return?
No.
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 I mean, I would have been fine if like it wasn't taken to its mind-bogglingly illogical extreme of like we're not even give you a minor clue as to what the detours actually are. This or that. I'm sure you can figure it out from there.
I think the reason they did that is purely because everyone probably would have picked basketball given the choice. Because it's a known quantity.
But you could have named it something like
Hoops
or Loops. Hoops or Loops, and you still don't get an idea.
Yeah.
Although Hoops would probably be a pretty good indication as basketball, I guess.
Especially if you know anything about the Philippines.
Unless you're Alvin the Chipmunk.
So in this, teams must score 21 points in a game of basketball against 2 small children to receive their next clue. And in that, teams must race a paddock around the course, doing 4 laps to each in under 17 minutes 55 seconds to receive their next clue.
Crashing into vans, not encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that people crashed into vans?
No, the general concept of crashing into a van while you're racing around the course was not encouraged by the Amazing Race or CBS.
I think just looking at Phil's Twitter, he was a little bit pissed that Amy went into that car because it reduced their budget quite significantly because they then had to pay for it.
So I thought I heard a smash.
Yeah, it was quite a good noise, I suppose.
It's like Amy was reenacting the first scene from Cougar Town.
Not seen it.
No, it's saying it.
Still, that's
Never mind then. Moving on.
Yeah, great reference there, Logan. At least it's more topical than the Mexican election from last week.
Yes, I'm improving. I'm really getting towards the mainstream with my pop culture references.
You're on the way up. If it was Scrubs you
Moving on up
referenced,
to the east side.
yeah, if you were referencing Scrubs, then I would get it. But Cougar Town,
Nope. Did anybody actually watch Cougar Town?
That's the
Besides
only thing
Logan?
from Cougar Town I know, thankfully.
the only thing I know from Cougar Town is that Arbed from Community appeared on it in the background of a scene.
Interesting.
Fact. And we also had the speed bump at the park, which was transfer a street vendor's gear to another Padiac to receive the word to continue to the box. Bit of a...
Did you catch Rob's Sophie Clark moment?
no, I didn't.
Where Brooke said, "Oh, this is going to be a long speed bump," and then Rob just pauses and says, "No,
No.
nope."
Well, speed bumps aren't meant to be hard. I'm going to be honest.
True.
I think I know we like ranking the speed bumps with how utterly crap they are, but I think this one's quite low in terms of difficulty. I mean, it's not Bill and Kathy untying a knot, but
Or sitting on a nice chair.
or sitting on an ice chair for 10 minutes, but it's not. It's not.
Or serving tea.
Yeah, it's not the most difficult one they've
Or
ever
a sauna.
Or a sauna. You want to go to the sauna?
Sauna bus. I mean, I definitely believe this from first from Brooke and Robbie was like a lot better than the Cowboys one in season 16 because all they had to do was serve tea. They actually like dismantle and carefully put together the contents of was it a bike, jeep? Yeah, a tuk-tuk or whatever it was. That has a slighter, not a slighter, much larger difficulty slide in there sort of thing. So I definitely it was probably as higher than a lot of speed bumps since the start of the whole thing, but not like overly difficult, I guess.
Yeah, the thing is, they've been doing so well with speed bumps this year. The speed bumps that we've seen this season have been so much better than the average. This one was kind of a letdown. At least in comparison.
I mean,
It probably would have been a better idea to just do Keep On Racing last week. Despite the fact that I do love the twist this week.
I liked it though, because like I like how once they put everything in his bike or whatever it was, bike, tuk-tuk, whatever it was, call it a bike because that's easier. Once they put everything in his bike, he just drove off. That's like, and it's like it fit the theme of the episode because like every task so far has been like you know how mostly in the Amazing Race it feels there is a very, at least recently, there's a very obvious sort of like, oh, we've set all this up just for you. You've got to complete this, thing we've set up for you to go through this race. But like this week, it's felt very like you're in the midst of the Philippines. You're interrupting. You're like you're going through the motions of a way of life in Philippines. So it's like take a jeepney off the side of the road, put together someone's bike, and they drive off. The world goes on. Interrupt against basketball, which happens all the time. I guess the race around the looping race. I guess I was set up. I guess I'm not sure if that's a normal thing people do in the Philippines, but yeah, this season has felt very like way of life and sort of like going through the motions of a way of just going through the Philippines instead of like oh here go through this setup course for the Amazing Race.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love this season so much more than I loved last season, for example.
That's not hard.
Yeah, I would pretty much love any season more than I loved last season, purely because of how utterly turd it was. But
Cougar Town would be better than last season.
I think watching quite a lot of shows would be better than last season, easily. But at least they seem to realise that they need to put effort in now, which is nice. They cannot rest on their laurels like they did last season and go, oh, we're going to make this the easiest race course ever, and we're not going to put in any effort whatsoever.
A, I agree. B, Logan, stop trying to make Cougar Town happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, Logan. Stop it. So we had Adam and Bethany and Brooke and Robbie both doing the basketball detour, which I'm not even...
On Pedro Street, which is my favorite part of the whole episode, that there's actually a place in Manila called Pedro Street.
There's a shock. It's almost like Manila has streets named after various saints and things.
Who knew?
Who'd have thunk it?
Wasn't it so inspirational when Bethany was playing basketball with one arm? I felt like I found that funny.
I was skirting around that for so long. I actually had it in my notes, just wait for Ben to say something about Bethany having one arm playing basketball.
Even though all she could do was basically just toss it to Adam.
Babe, I'm just going to toss it.
Logan, how long have you been away?
She was the Steve Nash of that task.
On the subject of Bethany,
We've been up since 9, so 4 hours.
Yeah, Ben, on the subject of Bethany, we missed, sadly, your reaction to Bethany saying that putting together a motorbike sidecar was a man's job last week.
Wouldn't have had much to say about that, I guess.
I mean,
she does everything. I mean, I guess she's when she does nearly every single other thing in the race, she's allowed to delegate jobs to Adam.
I even had your description last week, if you had have joined us, as being. Let me find the exact wording I used, because I did read it out to Logan last week live on the podcast because of how disappointed I was you couldn't join us. Where is it? 25.
It's not going to be a tumble like Rand, is it?
No. I described you as our special guest star, one guy who'd agreed with Bethany that building a sidecar is only a man's job, Ben Powell. Because I just thought you'd that'd probably irritate you slightly.
Yes.
So, Bethany and the basketball task. Didn't she also mention her creepy adoption plans?
Did she also mention what?
Her creepy adoption plans, that she wanted to adopt a bunch of kids and have them in her backyard or something like that.
I didn't have that written down, but that is decidedly weird if she did.
She didn't. No, that's not what happened.
Yeah, editors are just burying her as well. Maybe.
No, that's not what happened.
Maybe Logan's just making stuff up for fun now.
Yes, he is.
That doesn't sound like the Logan we know.
I think there's a lot of people traveling. A lot of traveling pals in that basketball game.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, easiest task in the world, I think, playing basketball against people half of your height, in my case.
That sounds slightly racist.
Well, no. Even Adam said that he was basically Godzilla.
That's because Adam's freakishly tall.
Yeah, don't say he's freakishly tall. I think Adam's the same height as me, maybe a little bit smaller.
How high are you?
I'm 6'5".
That is freakishly tall.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I'm a monster. I'm a gigantic monster around here. I'm only 6'3". Jesus Christ.
I'm basically, if I went to Asia, I would be Godzilla. Just like, killing people's family.
Unless Big Easy is around you.
Well, yeah.
And he's Godzilla.
What? Adam is only 5'11", apparently. Or, no. No, Bethany's 5... What? Bethany's 5'11"?
You said it in her inflection.
Bethany's 5'11". Yes, she really is.
I'm glad we know every racer's height by the end of the season.
Bethany is actually a lot taller than I expected.
But yeah, 6'5" is
Oh,
freakishly tall. Okay.
I'm basically Godzilla. Yes, I know.
Jesus Christ.
You're not that much smaller than me, then.
Yeah, but still 6'5".
To be fair, Logan, you're about 6'3", I think, as well.
6 feet even. So this is the first time where I'm in a conversation, and apparently I'm the shortest person in the room because in my family I'm taller than everyone else, and I have four siblings and two parents. So yeah,
Yeah, I
and
was
they're
going
all
to
like
say,
5'5".
you're not that much smaller than me. 100%.
Okay then, Amazing Race episode.
Nah, let's just talk shit about each other. It's more fun. So Adam and Bethany were the first to leave the detour after they whooped the kids in the basketball.
Who would have thought?
I know. Who would have thought that she's
Adam and Shaquille
5'11"?
O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal. And they found out that teams must head to the Divisoria market, finding a marked jeepney to receive their next clue. Caution,
It's all about the
override.
jeepneys.
All
It
about
is the
jeepneys. All about the jeepneys.
jeepneys.
Yeah. No pedal. And then we had Brooke and Robbie leaving in second, and Amy, Maya, and Jim and Misty were probably at least half an hour behind. Actually, no, it must have been about 40 minutes behind.
I love the wrestlers at the detour there. They really channeled their inner Jim Carrey a la Cable Guy on the basketball court.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
well, Adam was channeling his inner Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan, I think Brooke and Robbie referenced, wasn't it?
Yes. I think Adam says the word Shaquille O'Neal even in his sleep because I think he said it like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, at least, easily. And Amy and Maya and Jim and Misty have a wonderfully fun time at that, between Amy crashing and Misty having to pull a 250-pound baby.
And the refill gas pump on the way there. Apparently they liked the pun on refill, but not the pun on Philippines.
Yeah, they didn't actually show the image that they actually showed in the preview last week of Phil Trust Bank, which I was very disappointed about.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I mean,
This is an outrage.
Yeah, I had it.
You should go protest outside CBS immediately.
Yeah, I mean, we're already going to protest outside CBS for a 2-hour finale next week. Because obviously they've definitely got enough material for a 2-hour leg.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Moving on.
And we have Adam and Bethany losing their clue as well.
Babe, where'd you put the clue?
Is it in your bag?
It was about as exciting as when Anita and Arthur lost their clue in The Amazing Race 13, and it was so exciting to the point that it became a deleted scene.
I did not expect Anita and Arthur to get a name check in any yatncast, never mind this one.
Hashtag Beekeeper Madness.
The difference is that Adam and Bethany, Anita and Arthur, are actually quite friendly to fans on the internet. They do tend to communicate with people a lot, which is nice for them.
Well, Arthur looks like one of my uncles in the woods, so I can see that.
They used to be quite popular on, quite frequent users of Yatn, when people actually use Yatn. Oh, I went there. So Brooke and Robbie were the first to the Roadblock, and it was who goes cuckoo for coconuts. And this Roadblock 1 team member must carry 2 local coconut products, gallons of the shell used for polishing known as banot, and a broom made of palm fronds called a Wallace Ting Ting, to 3 provided addresses. Each address has specific quantities of products required. Once the team member returns with the 3 receipts, they would receive their next clue.
Kill.
Did you get a screen cap of the Michael Jackson traffic cop from the cycling detour?
That's the
Because he was
one.
my favorite part of the episode.
That's the one thing I forgot to screen cap.
Damn it! He was pulling out all the dance moves.
I promise I will get it for you for next week. At some point. You can anticipate the Michael Jackson traffic cop, but you will never know when he's going to be coming on air. So it's Robbie, Jim, Adam, and Amy doing the roadblock. And this must have a record for one of the most screwed up roadblocks in a long while. Because with the exception of Amy, every single person really screws it up initially.
Yeah, first three don't even say that there's a list of stuff, a list of where to deliver it, and when they do deliver it, that some of them do it in the wrong quantities.
Hashtag
read. And then Robbie ends up like finding a random store and stashing his stuff behind it so he doesn't have to carry it back.
It's just a complete and utter crazy thing.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's like what I was saying before, how like it felt like you're stepping into the life of someone living in the Philippines rather than just like going for a setup race course. It's like people
It was
people
one of the best
stepping into traffic, like having so much difficulty finding their way through or everything because there wasn't like a predetermined path that they could make for them or whatever, which feels like there's something to do on a recent Amazing Race season anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this season generally, I know we'll probably talk about this a lot more next week, but this season generally does have the feel of an old school season.
And that's why some of the new viewers are complaining about it, because they're just used to the new style of editing and don't realize, hey, this is what the old viewers used to watch, and that's what made the show successful in the first place.
Exactly.
It's very good. It feels like a good combination of both, though. Like the fact that we know who the people are, the travel aspect of it, and also the silliness.
In the same way,
the overt silliness, at least.
In the same way that Amazing Race Australia 2 feels like an old school season, this feels like an old school season, and that is a good thing. Because they seem to finally been getting a grip on how to actually edit it and produce the show again. Just resting on their laurels.
Laurels being 3 Peters?
No, laurels being Laurel Lance from Arrow, obviously.
I thought you were talking about the 20 million Emmys that they've won.
Well, yeah.
That Survivor hasn't won a single one.
Yeah.
So Rob is definitely prone to exaggerations.
Survivor has had amazing seasons recently, maybe with the exception of San Juan del Sur, but it doesn't win an Emmy, and then Amazing Race won an Emmy for 24 somehow. And it wasn't the Emmy for shittiest season of a program ever.
It would have been for the entire year, though, so it would have been for 23.
Yeah, but 23 wasn't a classic season either.
But still, it's Emmy worthy. It's better than I don't know. It's better than 15 and 16, which lost the Emmy.
Yeah, the combination of Survivor, Blood vs. Water being maybe the best new twist they've done in a long while, and Kakan, which is an amazing season, versus 23, which is bland, and 24, which was the worst season maybe of any reality show I've ever watched.
Cough Redemption Island. Cough Big Brother UK 12.
Yeah.
Cough Big Brother US 16.
24 was that bad that I would rather watch Redemption Island again. Big Brother is the exception purely because I do have the ability to just completely and utterly stop watching that halfway through, as I have done the past 2 seasons.
What about the Ukrainian one?
It's I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Velky Peroni or whatever it's called.
Velky Peroni.
Oh, what a guess!
Velky Pepperoni. What?
Yeah.
You had to do a thick East European accent. Velky Pepperoni.
It's nice.
Like, what? Not the pepperoni.
Don't forget the...
Velky.
My host. My host is #1 prostitute host in Ukraine.
We pay 50. We pay 50 rubles for Google Plus subscription. We talk about pepperoni.
What has this podcast become?
Hey, this is
So,
like the
back
least
to the
often
episode.
Yeah, in 50 episodes, we still have not managed to shake the tendency to just go horrendously off topic.
That's life.
And we don't even have Michelle going, guys, that stay on track.
Oh.
So
Rob's pun exaggeration.
Go.
He said that during the roadblock that it felt like a combination of a sauna, a steam room, and then add 400 degrees.
A sauna.
I think he was probably off by about 400 degrees.
Well, yeah. At least they didn't make them eat balloons, as they like to in the Philippines. Actually, that's the point. Amazing Race US is probably the only one ever to visit the Philippines that hasn't made them eat balut.
Have they ever eaten balut?
I don't think they have, but every single international version that goes to the Philippines tends to make them eat an absolute ton of balut for fun.
Asia 2 made them eat like 20, I think it was, or some ridiculous number.
Yeah, Asia 2 did, Australia 2 did, and I'm pretty sure they've done it in actual TAL Philippines.
Did Philippines do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Or was it just regular snack for them? That was a prize.
Yeah, that was a prize. In the same vein as all the 7-Up you can drink at the pit stop, it's all the balut you can eat at the pit stop.
Is that like their version of KFC?
Yeah. But fun fact, Japan on Christmas Day, it's tradition to eat KFC.
I love that. I love the general perception by like most North Americans that like every gross thing you see in like Asia is that they normally eat that because every day for lunch I snack down a kangaroo tail and shark fin
and truffle.
No, what you eat is witchetty grub and camel toes and everything else that I'm a celebrity get.
What the hell is a camel toe?
A toe of a camel, obviously.
Oh.
If you've never seen,
Oh.
if you've never seen Alex get me out of his eating challenges, watch them purely for the puns. They love a good pun on the eating challenges. They always put in witchetty grubs. They always put in some sort of croc tail or cockroach tail or whatever.
Oh.
God. You'll look out of this when I'm a Celebrity starts in Australia next year, Ben.
Oh, lovely.
I'm assuming they're going to get beautiful South African delights for them.
Did anyone catch Adam's cutthroat gameplay, where he helps out a team member and shows them how to completely do the task, and then try and ditch them 20 minutes later after he already gave them a huge advantage in the task?
Yeah, I mean, Jim also managed to do one of the most outrageous bending of the rules that we've seen on a roadblock for a long while in getting the car. Because if there's nothing to say you can't do it, you can do it.
And Amy couldn't steer that as well. Luckily, she didn't crash into a van.
Well, Amy did steal it. Amy did steal the idea, didn't she? So. So Robbie was the first to complete the roadblock, with Adam in second, Jim in third, and Amy in last. And teams will now make their way to Fort San Diego, the pit stop for this leg of the race. The last team to arrive may be eliminated.
Robbie pulled a BB as well.
How much did you believe that that way they tried to portray it, like there was a four-way drive to the pit stop?
No, I think we pretty much knew that Amy and Maya were going to come in last at that point.
No surprises there.
No, but at least we got the twist at the end to save them instead of Brooke and Robbie.
Oh! Did we talk about Mr. Mr. Cab Driver?
No, we haven't yet. Quite enthusiastic.
Yeah.
You thought he was getting a cut of the $1 million.
Yeah, the only thing that I thought might happen is Jim and Misty might jump up a spot or two purely because of the cab driver.
Imagine if Amy and Maya got that cab driver. I'm shaking. I can't breathe. That's nice. Very nice.
This has just devolved into episodes again.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
Very nice.
I can't breathe.
Whoa! Since when did we get all political? Are we really quoting "I Can't Breathe" on this podcast?
No, it's Donkey from Shrek in Shrek's karaoke dance party. I think you'll find. If you've never seen that, it's amazing.
Way to bring the root of the podcast down, Logan.
Yeah, Logan.
Yeah.
I was going for the innocent.
I completely killed the momentum there.
I was going for the
Yes, you
innocent Donkey from Shrek reference, and you weren't. So, in a shocking turn of events, Brooke and Robbie pulled the Cowboys in season 18, according to Jessica Lees, and went from worst to first.
You mean according to Phil?
Season 16, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. Phil said that they stole the Cowboys' thunder, basically. Jessica Lees claimed that it was in season 18. Wrong! As I tweeted to her.
Why must you antagonize her?
Yes, because I'm horrible. And Adam and Bethany came in second, Jim and Misty in third, and Amy and Maya, sadly, in last. But what? It's a keep on racing. For the first time ever, 4 teams will be racing in the final leg. And this might be my favourite screenshot of the past couple of weeks.
Oh, the discrepancy.
Amy in the back are just like, yay, I can't rest. Oh, fuck. Hey, Amy's so unbelievably over this. And Maya's just like, yay, I love everything. The world is an amazing place.
She would be happy if there was 5 keep on racings in a row.
Oh, I would be, because that would be a hilarious season.
Oh, can you imagine an entire season where there's no like rest in between a pit stop?
That
It's like, nah, keep on racing.
That might be the greatest thing ever, actually. Because by
Someone
about,
probably kill each other.
yeah, by about leg 5 or 6, teams would be so unbelievably peed off. They would just be so over it. And you wouldn't even need U-turns or yields or must votes, anythings. It'd be hilarious because teams would just be backbiting and everything. There would be full-on scuffles.
It'd be like the
Oh,
psychological experiment where you just tell them, oh yes, the experiment is starting in 20 minutes, then come back 20 minutes later and tell them, okay, it's going to start in 20 minutes, and then go back and keep repeating until they are driven completely mad.
Yeah, the only reason that they don't do that is because all the producers and stuff would also have to keep on racing.
Oh yeah, and they need to film confessionals.
Well, not necessarily that, because they still film confessionals in Manila. But we would see Phil getting increasingly pissed off at the pit stops, I suspect. He wouldn't be talking to teams for 20 minutes. He'd just be like, right, get out my sight, keep on racing.
Downside, balance and act. It's a balancing act.
However, we would then see a sort of Jeff Probe style transformation from a Phil from nice to completely and utterly annoyed at everyone in the entire race, like Probst has been this season on Survivor. Because there's a lot of discussion on Reddit at the moment of Jeff just being like, I'm so over these trades, just get out of my sight. Ugh.
It's because they're not playing his game. They're basically making the rules of their own game, and he's pissed off that he can't control anything, and he's taking his ball and going home.
Exactly.
Which I love, by the way. Anything that pisses off Jeff Probst.
And teams receive their next clue, which sends them to their final destination city, the city of Angels, Los Angeles. Shocker. And teams also receive a manila envelope with the instructions not to open it until you are told to.
A manila envelope? Did they steal another joke from my blog? This is ridiculous.
Yes, they did.
Yes, obviously they did. Amy, the first thing she did when she signed up for the Amazing Race was to go on, scour the web for old Amazing Race recaps, and then find your blog, and then copy that joke in the minute possible occasion she might be in the Philippines and they might come across a manila envelope.
Yeah.
Obviously.
As soon as Phil handed over the manila envelopes, I was like, oh, they've just stolen Logan's thunder. This is a sort of dad joke that Logan would love, and that Logan would probably put into the Avengers if he was in charge of it.
Apart from more woo puns.
Well,
Or
yeah.
Poons, or whatever he'll call them.
Yeah, Quoons, obviously. So, what do we think is going to happen next week? 4 teams still it?
I'm not sure. And
But first things first.
it might be like a huge long last finale leg because is it 2 hours? Did you say it was 2 hours?
No, it's a 1 hour.
Oh.
Who do we think? Oh, number one, how do we think the mid-leg elimination is going to go down? Are we going to have another Bilal and Saeed style situation where Logan has to put Bull above their ranking?
Who knows?
Is it going to be sort of a random location in Los Angeles where teams must pull a tag or slide something out of a box? The last one's just says last, and then Phil just appears from behind a bush and eliminates them.
That'd be very treasure hunters-ish. Maybe they get a text on a Motorola cell phone telling them that they're the last ones to find the artifact and that they're out of the race halfway through.
Team wrestlers, your race ends here.
Maybe they do that. Maybe they do that thing where Phil's been appearing halfway through the leg and in front, like behind or in front of the teams, and they have to Brooke and Robbie are the last team to arrive at the station, and they have been eliminated from the race. Wait, what?
The thing is, purely from a production standpoint, they're going to have to make it sort of at least halfway through, if not sort of a third of the way into the leg, so that Phil and the fourth place team have enough time to get to the finish line before the final 3 teams actually arrive.
And are they going to have to transport the fourth place team to the pit stop with the other teams?
I suspect what will probably happen is 5th through 11th place will already be at the finish line. 4th place and Phil will travel together to the finish line.
Cool.
That'd be my suspicion.
Maybe the final task has to be really long then.
Well, what I suspect is that we'll have sort of a random active route info and a roadblock, then the elimination point, and then the final memory challenge. Because I'm reasonably sure we're going to have a final memory challenge.
Yeah, the only systems that don't have final memory challenges so far these days are the All-Star seasons. Or the All-Star seasons.
Well, the reason I think we're going to have a final memory challenge is that they're the most reliably long tasks that they can come up with.
True. Unless you're organising paintings.
Or do the hello goodbye task all over again with no warning. The greeters didn't even say hello or goodbye, they just do it anyway.
Ben, you got cast aspersions on Canada 2's memory challenge. I quite liked that one. That was not the worst one they've ever done. By a mile.
Which one did you think I was talking about?
You said the paintings. The Canada 2 one was paintings.
I meant season 16.
Oh, right. The band.
The Age of Aquarius?
Yeah, the band poster's the awful one. The one that I warned Logan before the final leg. You will hate this memory challenge, and you will see why I bitch about this memory challenge for a long while.
It only took them 2 minutes to do. Even the teams that had zero memory could do that in 2 minutes. All it did was say, just know the order of elimination, know when the non-eliminations take place, and that's it. You get your clue after that.
Yeah, having said that, 17 has one of my favourite memory challenges.
And you'll see it when you keep blogging it.
Yeah, in terms of completely and utterly.
Yay! In February.
Yeah,
or March.
17 has the completely, probably the most what the hell final memory challenge ever in terms of gloriousness.
Anyway, this season Amazing Race. Amazing Race.
So, do we think it's going to be a Bilal and Saeed, Phil jumps out of a bush elimination? Because that's the only way I can see them doing it.
I think there's just going to be something where there's only going to be like 3 clues, and then the team that doesn't have the clue just knows that they're out. Or the only 3 helicopters to take to a location.
And Phil just standing there.
And the 4th team says, oh, there's no other helicopters, so we're out. That's going to be something like that, I think.
Well, the thing is, Phil has got to be there because he said to Amy and Maya, just a warning, I will be eliminating one team at some point during the next leg. So that kind of means that Phil is going to be involved in it somehow.
Yeah.
It's just how.
So,
who do we think is going to come in 4th place as well?
Brooke and Robbie.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yep.
And finally, I think I know the answer to this question, but who will I be adding into the intro next week as our winners?
I think Amy Maya.
As do I.
Editing is still pointing to Amy and Maya. We've been saying this for how many months now?
We've been saying it for at least 6 weeks.
At least since Keith. At least since like
the elimination that disgusted us.
Yeah, at least since Keith and Whitney's elimination, because I made that huge thing at the end, comparing them to like Sophie from Survivor. Because they were at that point, they weren't getting that much screen time.
No, but every single second of screen time was them being really enthusiastic about something.
Or smart, or a confessional about how people underestimate them. And the last confessional for the first leg was I know people think we're a bunch of candy girls, but we can do this. So I think they're gonna win.
My thinking behind Amy and Maya winning is purely ruling everyone else out. Brooke and Robbie have been painted in such an unlikable light that if they win, I'll be horrendously shocked, and if they're not 4th place, I'll be horrendously shocked. Jim and Misty have had the gloaty "we're going to have a downfall" edit, and Adam and Bethany have been basically non-entities and had the classic stunt casting edit.
See, I haven't completely ruled out Jim and Misty or Adam and Bethany. I've completely ruled out Brooke and Robbie, obviously, but like Jim and Misty, they've gone for a bit of like a image overhaul in the last few legs. So they've been in like a bit more positive light than normal.
It's not to say that I would hate a Jim and Misty win, because I think I'm probably one of their bigger fans of the internet, purely because I kind of like an intense, ridiculous team like them. But I think all signs are probably pointing at Amy and Maya, especially with them saying that we're now the only team that's not won a leg, the sort of classic Beekman boys and that sort of confessional.
Plus, I don't remember that much of last season, but did Caroline and Jennifer ever get the we're the only female team left in the race, and we're gonna be the 3rd to win the race? Did they ever get one of those confessionals?
They got one that basically said we're the only female team left, I think, but I'm pretty sure they didn't get one saying we're going to be the 3rd female team, because they're not.
Yeah. Did Mona and Beth?
No, Mona and Beth barely got any confessionals.
Exactly. So I think that's what seals it for me. Like, I think Anna and Bethany. Amy Maya.
Amy Maya.
I think they're getting that focus, and I think that focus will pay off. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I mean, the casual fans on Facebook who are completely gaga over Adam and Bethany will probably like send them death threats, but still.
My prediction is Amy and Maya 1, Jim and Misty 2, Adam and Bethany 3, Brooke and Robbie 4.
Yeah, it seems like Amy and Maya have this. They've been pumping up this rivalry with the dentist since the Morocco round, which is pretty much when we were discussing the winners for the scientists, and just because the dentist, or Jim rather, was making an infamous comment on Maya's enthusiasm in smelly places. So
Uh,
I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 1-2 for this season.
oh, it's so wonderful. No, it smells like
It smells like sound effects.
Yes, that would be the scene.
I still think that is my favourite banner that we've had all season. It's just Jim's mad eyes.
But it's also do that to you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how ridiculous the save was for Jim and Misty?
Yes. Your maths was wrong on that, by the way. I did point this out. Jim and Misty could have...
I know, you were right, but just...
Well, I read it and thought, what? You're wrong. Jim and Misty would have needed to finish last 5 times to go out. Or could have finished 5 times to go out. But 4 times is the absolute maximum amount of times they could have come last to still be in.
I think Logan was
but
like...
yeah, after the save expired, we've had 2 elimination rounds in a row.
Yeah. The thing is, if the save would have been used, then I'm assuming last week would have been an elimination. Or maybe this week, actually. No, actually, it probably would have been last week. Which means we would have then had the save being used, leg 9 being an elimination, unless it was Jim and Misty, leg 10 being an elimination, and then 1 non-elimination this week as a shocker, leading into the finale. So if the save would have been used, it wouldn't have been as shocking. But you know, it was.
Interesting. Yeah. It didn't. All it did was basically drive Jim. All the save did really this season was drive Jim and Misty's narrative forward and then disappear.
Yeah, I mean, is there going to be a curse of the save though if Jim and Misty don't win? Because we don't know whether it's coming back next season or not. I'd probably suspect it isn't, but
hopefully not.
Imagine the viewer outrage if they finish last this week.
Oh, it would have been hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been them or Brooke and Robbie. Brooke and Robbie more the casual fans sort of thing. Like they would have been the ones accused of rigging, but like I wouldn't have minded because we didn't know the like of Brooke and Robbie.
I would have laughed so much if it was.
Oh, well, we can only hope. We could have only hoped at least.
Maybe next week. Maybe next season.
Right. So.
Good stereo there, Ben. So I think we are about done for this week. So next week we have lifeboats, Bethany in a container yard, the finish line, and the stump jump out of a window.
I was wondering when that was going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, people ID'd it as being LA, so I kind of knew it would be. But also, one last question: what do we think the Manila envelopes are going to be relevant to?
This could be a fun one.
There's a bunch of Lake celebrity news.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a letter from Joe. It's gonna be a letter from Frank Mesa, and it's just gonna be a bunch of gibberish in there, or Susan and Patrick.
Yes. What I suspect is...
Dear Amy, use this idol on a dentist. I think they're the ringleader. Love, JT.
XOXO. What I suspect it will be is we're going to see teams receive one part of a clue and have to combine it with whatever's in the manila envelope to find out their finish line. That would be my suspicion, but you never know.
Yeah. We'll see in a week.
That's so Treasure Hunters.
Yeah, I think they're going to go the way of Treasure Hunters.
I don't know what Treasure Hunters is, so...
Oh, Ben, you have so much to learn.
You have to watch Treasure Hunters when this season is over.
Yeah, Logan will send you a Motorola message with the link to it.
I still have a Motorola phone.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why I referenced it. I actually referenced it in one of your Canadian intros, if you remember. Anyway, Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll be back next week for our final recap of the season at the same time of 8 p.m. GMT, which is 12 midday on Pacific, and 7 a.m. Monday AST for the next Amazing Race Recap podcast, brought to you by the UR Team Number Facebook group. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and please like the video so we can rise up the rankings and I can stop sounding horrendously needy. And you can hit all of us up on Twitter. If you look in the description, you'll find it. Bye.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Bye.